Why did the whole night shift band together to bring down one supervisor? I was restocking the break room fridge when I heard Priya behind me, voice tight with panic. Cover my register a sec. My chest is doing the thing again. My stomach dropped because I knew what was coming. Our floor supervisor, Mr. Kraus, was obsessed with no slack. He timed our breaks on his phone, mocked anyone who sat down, and treated any human need as a personal insult. He fed off humiliating people in front of the whole crew. Priya had a heart condition, documented, on file with HR. When it flared, she needed to sit and slow her breathing. She asked to step off the floor for a few minutes. When she took 12, Kraus stopped everything and announced across the store, "Priya's been gone 12 minutes for a break. Must be nice. The rest of us are actually working." When she came back, pale and shaky, and explained it was her heart, he really showed himself. He launched into a lecture about how his wife had heart stuff too, and never milked it, how people today invent conditions for sympathy, how it was no excuse to abandon your station. He smirked like he'd won and told her she'd stay late to make up the time. Priya's face crumpled while everyone watched, and I felt rage boiling up. On lunch, I dropped into the booth, where Marcus, Dev, and Lena were already fired up. "Did you see that?" Marcus hissed. Lena was scrolling the group chat, where people from Kraus's other ships were dumping their own horror stories. "He thinks having a wife makes him a cardiologist," Dev said, shaking. Then Lena got a dangerous glint in her eye. "If he wants to play the I know somebody game, we can beat him at it." That break turned into a war room. We pulled everyone across his shifts into the chat, assigned people to track his every move, and agreed to wait for the right moment. 2 weeks later, it came. The chat blew up when Marcus texted, "Kraus called out sick." When he dragged himself back after 4 days, sighing about his brutal flu, I caught him alone by the office. "Wow, Mr. Kraus," I said, all concerned. 4 whole days for a bug? My brother had the same thing and was back the next morning. Guess some guys just handled being sick differently." His face went from confused to annoyed. When he started explaining that everyone's body is different and some people need more recovery time, I dropped it. "Oh, so you get that all bodies work differently. Fascinating. Almost like having a wife doesn't make you an expert on Priya's heart. Just like being out 4 days doesn't make you weak. Your body just needed it. You could watch it land, but we were just getting started. For the rest of the season, we ran a clinic on him." When he flopped into a chair after unloading a truck, groaning about how wiped he was, Marcus said, "My dad hauls freight 12 hours a day and I've never heard him complain like this." The laughter was instant. When he whined about a headache in the office, Dev offered, "My sister gets migraines, but she doesn't announce it to the whole store." The other leads exchanged looks while Kraus's ears went red. Every hit was calculated. The chat coordinated it like a drill. By the second month, his swagger was cracking. We saved the best for when it would sting most. He was leaning by the time clock trying to impress Ms. Ortega, the new inventory manager he'd been awkwardly chasing, complaining about staff always taking forever on break. That's when Lena struck. "That's funny, Mr. Kraus," she said, "because you take the longest breaks of anyone. You disappear to your office half the shift. Maybe you should time yourself, since you're the expert on wasted time." Ms. Ortega actually snorted and walked off. Kraus turned a shade of purple I'd never seen. After that, he broke. He stopped timing our breaks. He stopped the lectures. When a new hire asked to step out for his inhaler, Kraus just nodded and said, "Take what you need." He never mocked Priya again. In fact, he quietly moved a chair behind her register. No comment, just there for when she needed it. Near the end of the year, Priya had a bad flare and had to sit for 15 minutes. The old Kraus would have made a spectacle. This Kraus came over, asked if she needed water, and told the rest of us to keep the line moving so she wouldn't have an audience. None of us ever said out loud what we'd done. We didn't have to. He'd finally learned the one lesson he refused to hear from anyone, that knowing one person's struggle never makes you the judge of everyone else's. Priya's a shift lead herself now, and the first thing she did was make sure every person on that floor knew they'd never have to explain, beg, or be humiliated for needing a minute to simply take care of themselves.